Hey everyone, Pastor Ben here. It's been a while since I've greeted you on a Friday, and in fact this one's probably going to get to you a little later than what I've normally done, but thought I would get back in the habit of doing this and just continue to share with you some of the things going on with where I'm thinking and how I've been praying for you this week. And I'm here at the church this evening and was just was praying for you. Praying for those that have been away for a while, those that I've seen often, and just wanted you to know that you're prayed for, you're loved, and I look forward to spending time with you. And I'm looking forward to this Sunday. Just a couple of announcements before I get into a couple of thoughts I had. Back on Father's Day, we were supposed to return a bunch of those baby bottles. So if you haven't done so, I'd encourage you to do that. That was a fundraiser for the pregnancy center. And so if you still have a couple of those laying around, would you bring those in so we can get those turned in and get that money turned into them? That would be very helpful. So if you can remember to do that this Sunday, that would be great. This week, we're going to finish Acts chapter 18, and we're picking up from where Paul had just something that had kind of stood out to me in that first part of chapter 18. It seemed like Paul had a little bit of a different demeanor. We finished with this word of the Lord that he gave to Paul, and the Lord said, "Do not be afraid, keep on speaking, do not be silent, for I am with you. No one is going to attack or harm you because I have many people in the city." And we just talked about how Paul had really been enduring a lot of things. And he was a bit discouraged, and his demeanor was a little different. And we just really honed in on these words that the Lord gave Paul here. And this next section comes right on the heels of that as Paul's heart was encouraged and his perspective was changed. We see Paul continue on his journey, goes into Corinth. We read some more about Priscilla and Aquila and these helpers that were with Paul as he continued to travel. He goes down to Caesarea. Then he spends some time in Antioch. And then we're introduced to another Jew named Appolos. And in verse 24, it says that he was a native of Alexandria and he'd come to Ephesus. It says that he was learned. In fact, he knew a whole lot about the Jewish culture. In fact, as the scripture reveals here, he knew a lot about Jesus up until the point of what John had taught him. And so Priscilla and Aquila, they're around him and they hear him speak, and Apollos he's just got this fervor, he's got this excitement, but his knowledge isn't complete. In fact, he doesn't have the full gospel. And so in verse 26, the latter part of it, it says, "When Priscilla and Aquila heard him, they invited him to their home and explained to him the way of God more adequately." In other words, they explained to Apollos all that Jesus had come to do and all that Jesus did. They explained to him his crucifixion and his resurrection. They explained to him this full gospel. And so now, as Apollos goes, he wanted to go to Achaia, it says in verse 27, and the brothers, the disciples, they encouraged him to go. And on arriving, he was a great help to those who by grace had believed. Verse 28, it says, "For he vigorously refuted the Jews in public debate, proving from the scriptures that Jesus was the Christ." And so here we have not only Paul, but Priscilla and Aquila, and now Apollos. And these were great leaders in the early church, proclaiming the good news of Jesus. And they took somebody who had some incomplete knowledge and filled in all of the gaps so that he could be a better, effective minister of the gospel. And I love what takes place here. And I love how Priscilla and Aquila, they heard him and they invited him into their home and they explained who Jesus is more fully, more completely. And we all need people like that in our lives, don't we? We need people that will come alongside, that will disciple us, that will help us understand all the gaps in what we know. I love how Appolos took what he knew. I love how he had this desire to explain who Jesus was. He was excited about this. And instead of being discouraged by this lack of knowledge and instead of having this arrogance, because he probably knew a lot of things more thoroughly than Priscilla and Aquila did, except for all of the things that Jesus came to do. And he received that. And he took that knowledge then, and God used that. And we need to be that type of people as well. We need to be that type of person that is willing and open to hearing new things, to be taught, to be the type of person that allows others to teach. And then taking that and being used by God in extraordinary ways. Now, maybe some of us aren't going to be, the type of person like Apollos or the type of person like Paul, but again, this theme comes to light where we have a gift, we've been given something, and it's up to us. We have a choice to make. Are we going to use that and allow God to use our lives in a significant way? So I'm excited about that. I love what takes place in this chapter, and we've got some more to cover here, but just wanted to give you that quick snapshot into where we're going to be here on Sunday. As I mentioned before, I'm praying for you, praying for each person that sits in every seat. Your face comes to mind. I'm praying for you, and I'm praying that the Lord would continue to stir you and awaken you, that he would reveal his purposes and plans for you, and that maybe you need to be encouraged. And so I'm praying for that for you as well. I'm looking forward to our time together on Sunday. Whether you are here in person or you're joining us online, we want to just extend a warm welcome and the Lord's blessing to you. And we're excited to be able to gather again. So I hope you can join us. Sunday school starts at 9:30 or 9:45. Our Spanish service starts at 9:30, and our English service starts at 10:45. We would love to see you in person. If you can't make it, please join us online. We would love to see you be encouraged by one another in the presence of the Lord. This is a good thing to gather. So please accept that invitation. Please come see us.